Kristen McPeek is live at the scene right now. Kristen, this is a very active scene.
Yeah, the latest information that we got from police is that this is an officer-involved critical incident. So that's what we know right now, but I'll step aside so you can see what we're seeing. Yeah, we've been in touch with UHP all morning, and they say that the situation is very fluid. So what that means is earlier this morning we heard, oh, the roads will be open by 7. Well, now it's looking closer to 8 and 9 o'clock. The airport right now, actually pretty quiet, I think, comparing to a few weeks ago when I was here for the holidays. Completely different story. We just took a drive through Provo Canyon, and it was gorgeous, let me say that. But yeah, there was one semi pulled over on the road. It looks like there was tire problems. I'm in Dalmore Meadows subdivision. This is just in Saratoga Springs. You can see there's actually still a police presence. There's signs warning people of this toxic bacteria at the trailhead. But yesterday, a completely different story. We actually got this video here of a tanker crashing, spilling oil all over the road. We're here in the Utah County Elections Office. This is where the election ballots are being counted and sorted. Here you can see this is where they are checking the signatures.
But these properties have been for years detrimental and in egregious violation of our codes, our safety codes.
Salt Lake City taking action tonight after a row of abandoned homes has caused numerous problems for a neighborhood, including catching on fire multiple times.
Now, the mayor says the homes will be demolished by the city if the owners don't do it themselves within the next 10 days. Kristen McPeek has been investigating abandoned buildings and these nuisances that they cause for several months now.
Tonight, she shows us what the city's doing and how they're asking for your help.
Just kind of riffraff.
Dan Dalton runs a business across the street from these boarded homes.
It brings a lot of that type of activity to the area.
The kind of activity that neighbors in the ballpark district don't like to see.
A boarded building does attract a nuisance element.
Craig Weinheimer works with a team that keeps an eye on boarded buildings across the city.
As a legal investigator, I'm involved with many of the high-profile cases in our office, and some of the boarded buildings rise to that occasion.
He says this particular row of buildings is one that gets a lot of attention. Caution tape torn down, basement windows buried. In fact, as we looked at the property, people were trespassing during our interview.
As we're standing here, there are unauthorized persons walking the property. If someone trespasses onto a boarded building, they could get themselves into danger.
Records as of November 27th show that there has been 35 fires in vacant buildings in Salt Lake City limits within the past year. Our crews captured this one back in a downtown building on 3rd South. This happened in September. Now the building, still vacant today, sits with a charred hole in the roof. The city does do routine check-ins with some of the properties, but they also rely on neighbors to report anything they see.
It seems like our hands are kind of tied. All we can do is kind of be the watch guards and report what we can report. But at the end of the day, since we don't own it, we don't have any control over it.
The city has a mobile app, and it allows people here to report any issues in the area right at your fingertips. This is something that the city says is one efficient way to help prevent issues.
The city would prefer that the property owner take care of boarding and securing of a building on their own, but if a complaint comes in from the neighborhood that the property is not being maintained, then the city is empowered to step in.
And as the colder months set in, this is something that is on the minds of neighbors and the city.
The weather does seem to be a driving factor.
Kristen McPeek with KUTV 2 News.
So when it comes to the houses on Major Street, the city says all 4 properties are owned by the same person. Now, if that person doesn't tear the homes down within the next 10 days, the city is going to do it, but they will send the property owner the bill.